Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Horseshoe Talk here on Monday, October 3rd, 2022. We're going to recap yesterday's disappointing Colts game. Yesterday. And then we'll also talk about this big Thursday night matchup. Now we have a quick turnaround. Some injuries and stuff to deal with as well. Joined by my dad, Tony Gonzalez, like always. No, Dad, yesterday was not the day that we were expecting against the Titans.
Well, it wasn't. I seen an article earlier today that Ray Hines, he thinks the blame this year so far has to go on the offense. And he thinks the defense is played well enough. Honestly, that blame the offense.
I can see that in a way. I think there's been moments on both sides of the ball. The offense does have to play better. I don't understand some of our play calling. I still think Frank Reich's play calling has not been great this season. We'll get to more about Frank Reich here in a little bit because he made some decisions yesterday that.
Well, we moved the ball down the field. We didn't get the ball in the end zone. I mean, the second half, we had plenty of chances to win that game second half. Our defense played real good the second half, kept us in the game, and the offense moved the ball down the field, and we couldn't get in the end zone. And then we had turnovers, and
we played terrible in the first half, both sides of the ball.
But the offensive line still got to get better.
If you look at both sides of the ball in that first half, we didn't play good at all. Now in the second half, our defense gave us every chance to win that game. Defense played their ass off in the second half. Made them punt. Didn't give up no points.
I tell you, somebody who
what's up, Glenn? Thanks for joining us.
Unsung hero for the Titans in that game, especially in the second half, was the punter.
Oh yeah, but
the punter did a great job of keep. He'd be punting on their own 20-yard line, and he'd have us pinned down at our own 20-yard line. We wasn't getting returns. He did a fantastic job of keeping us on the not in good field position. Their punter did a great job.
It's another one of them games. If you just looked at the box score, you would think the Colts would have won the game. I mean,
we did give up 120, 130 yards rushing to.
Yeah, but we had 365 yards passing. They had 243. We had 327. We had 365 total yards offense. Yes. They had 243 total yards of offense. We had 327 passing. They had 116 passing. But they had 127 yards rushing. We only had 38 yards rushing.
Yeah,
we averaged 5.8 yards a play. They only averaged 4.7.
Oh yeah.
We had 21 first downs. They're 19. We were 7-13 on third down. They were 5-12. We ran 63 plays. They only ran 52. Both teams allowed 3 sacks. Colts punted the ball twice. We forced 4 punts from them. But what killed us was turnovers. We had 7 penalties. They had 6, but we lost 2 fumbles and interception. They had no turnovers. So
that was the big.
3 turnovers kills. Time of possession, we had the ball. We had the ball 7 minutes longer than they did. We had 33, almost 34 minutes. They had 26 minutes. So I mean, if you look at the box score, other than the turnovers, we led about everything.
Even with the bad start that we got off to.
Yeah.
The turnovers is what cost us the game.
Got off to a terrible start. But like I said, the defense gave us every chance to win that game.
Our defense played pretty well,
especially in the second half. They didn't give up no points in the second half. Forced them to punt.
But you got to remember the turnovers put the defense in a bad position.
Yeah, in the first half.
Yeah, so I mean, our defense
they scored 14 points in the first half off turnovers.
It's the difference in the game.
But a lot of people want to blame it on Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan didn't have a bad game. He was 27-37, 356 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did have an interception, and that was just a hell of a play by the lineman tipping it up in the air.
Yeah.
And then he had a fumble, but he got killed from behind.
Yeah.
On his blind side on there. Jonathan Taylor just couldn't get going. He had 20 carries for 42 yards. That's just not a Taylor averaged 2.1 yards a carry. I bet you could look at his career since he's been in Indianapolis, and he's probably not had a game where he's only averaged 2 yards a carry.
I don't know what's going on with that.
And then we'll go ahead and talk about it. Frank Reich, for one, I don't like his play calling. But then you have the most important drive of the game. You're only down by 7. You're the most important drive of the game, last drive of the game, and Jonathan Taylor ain't on the field. Well, to me, right there, that's enough to get fired for.
I understand that he fumbled the football, but it was not. He got caught up. He was trying to get the first down. He had 3 or 4 guys on him, all stripping at the ball. His body got tucked to the back, and they pulled it out. It wasn't where he was running and just coughed it up. And so I think it's bullshit that they took him out of the game, in my opinion, and ridiculous. Well, it's totally ridiculous.
Think about this. If it had been Tennessee, Derrick Henry has the ball and he fumbles the ball. You telling me they're not going to put him back out there next drive?
Yeah, they're going to put him back out there next drive. The best running backs in football.
Who's the best offensive weapon we have on our team? Jonathan Taylor.
No doubt about it.
You have a chance to win the game, and nothing against Nyheim Hines. I like Nyheim Hines, but Nyheim Hines is not the pass blocker that Jonathan Taylor is.
And we got killed on that series with the pass blocking. Yeah, I don't understand it. I really don't.
It didn't make no sense to me. And we've seen Frank do it before. A couple of years ago against Baltimore, Taylor has a fumble and that was in the first half. Yeah. He kept him out the whole second half.
Yeah. And I said, it's one thing if he coughs it up, but and if he's had a major problem, but he hasn't had a major problem with the Colts, fumbling. Has he fumbled before? Sure, but it's not been a major problem. I don't understand that. I think it was ridiculous on their part, personally.
To me, that was enough to get fired. And the play calling, a lot of the play calling just hasn't made sense this year. I think that's some of the offense's problem. We'll get going, and then we'll try some screen pass where we're throwing it 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then get us back at 1st and 15 or something. It's like, I don't know. And the offense was moving the ball down the field. I mean, we moved the ball. Like I said, we had 300-something yards. We moved the ball down the field. We just couldn't. In the first half, we couldn't get no points. Our turnovers.
Our tight ends and our young receivers stepped up. I mean, they really did, especially the tight end position. Of course, the one guy, starting tight end, Cox, had the biggest game he's had in quite a while. 2 touchdowns and 7 or 8 catches. He had a great game. I think his name's Granson.
Yeah,
Granson had a really good game. Looked really good.
Granson had 4 catches for 62 yards.
He looked good.
Jelani Woods had 1 catch for 33 yards. Yep. Mo Alley Cox had his best game of the season. He was actually the leading receiver yesterday with 6 catches for 85 yards. Rookie Alex Pierce had a big game with 4 catches for 80 yards. He was averaging 20 yards a catch. Paris Campbell had his best game of the season, had 4 catches for 43. Pittman Jr. only had 3 catches for 31. They really spread the ball around. Doolin had a couple catches for 18.
That was the best our offense had probably looked in the second half. We got to do the whole game. We've been turning the ball over way too much with fumbles and interceptions. But again, people were going to blame Matt Ryan, but that one was just a great player by the defense on the to get his hand up and to catch the interception. And also you got to open up lanes for him to throw the ball. And it makes it difficult when he got so much pressure on him. And then the fumble, he didn't have a prayer. He got strip sacked, didn't have a prayer.
No. And like for Tennessee, we let Derrick Henry 22 carries for 114 yards. I mean, that hurt us. Passing wise, we held him in check pretty good. He did get a couple touchdown passes in the first half, but a lot of that was off short field from the turnovers. It was Tannehill was 17-21 for 137 yards. But what did I say before the game? We needed to stop Henry and make Tannehill have to throw the ball to beat us. Yeah. And we wasn't able to do that.
Wasn't able to do that, but we did control the time of possession.
No, we still should have. We had plenty of chances to win.
Plenty of chances to win that game. I mean, I know we give up. He had 130 yards rushing, but he really didn't kill us. Honestly.
We had a 5.2 average. The biggest.
He didn't take the game over like he has before.
No, well, in the second half, and a lot of his yards was in the first half.
Yes.
Second half, we done a lot better job defensively everywhere. I mean, like I said, we kept forcing punt after punt, gave our offense all kinds of chances to get back or to win the game. We got back in the game, got within 7, and a turnover hurt us. And then we were driving the ball down. I mean, I think almost all of our turnovers, if I remember correctly, came on Tennessee's side of the field. So with chances of where we had chances to go put up points. So I mean, hell, even if it's 3 field goals you get out of that, you win the game.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I just play calling Frank Reich, and I was a Frank Reich fan from the time. I was glad they got Frank Reich.
He missed a field goal, missed a 51-yard field goal. Passed on taking a 57-yard field goal chance, 57, 58-yard. Passed on that, which I'm not going to bitch about that.
No, I told you then. I thought he made the right call there, but it's just some of the stuff, man. Some of the play calling I don't like, and I still say Frank Reich manages the game a lot of time like he's just an offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? Not like he's a head coach. No, I'll tell you what. I still think I think he's on the hot seat here.
I would say
you're 1-2-1 in 3 division games. You've lost 2 of them, tied 1 of them. You're going to play. You're going to have a quick turnaround with a Thursday night game against the Broncos, and then you have 2 more division games coming up. Again, you play the Titans and the Jags, and if you lose both those, you're in trouble because you only have 1 division game left, and that's against the Texans.
I'll make a prediction. Let's say we lose these next 3 games.
Oh, he's gone.
I think Frank Reich's gone. That's my opinion.
I do too. If he loses these next 3 games, I don't think he makes it through the season. I really don't. I think Irsay is going to pull the plug. Honestly, even if he beats the Broncos and loses the next 2, he might be gone. If he loses the next 2 division games, he might be gone.
You put yourself in a real bad position.
You go 0-4 in your 0-3-1 in your division.
Did you see after 4 games so far? Well, almost 4 games because we got a game tonight. Before week 4 is over. That the best division of football is winning percentage wise is the Dallas Cowboys division.
Yeah, and that's usually the worst division.
That's crazy.
But you have the Giants are playing good. The Eagles are playing well.
Yep.
Cowboys are playing well without Dak. Which Cowboys defense, man? That defense the Cowboys have is going to keep him in a lot of games.
I've only seen highlights. I haven't seen the Eagles play a lot, but I did. A guy that I really like, Slurrick. I think his name Mark Slurrick was on. Slurrick was on TV today, and he says the Eagles are the real deal. He's done some of the games. Yeah. He says they're the real deal.
I like Mark.
He said not only are they super big, strong, physical, they're also super quick. He said they've got the total package. He said he thinks they're really going to be dangerous. So he thinks they're for real.
Yeah, I like that Mark Slayer. I want to get some of his chili. I've been wanting to get some. I've been wanting to order some of that stinking good chili for a while.
But he says they're the real deal. So, and the fact that they got behind from Jacksonville and then came back and kind of dominated Jacksonville, because we seen how Jacksonville had been knocking people off the ball. And they got off to a great start there in Philly, but then came back and won the game at home.
I'm not gonna say nice to see because I'm not a big Eagles fan, but it was. We finally got a chance to see how the Eagles would respond to some adversity. They hadn't really had much adversity in the season. And even their coach, Sirianni, talked about it in his press conference. Like, he goes, that was one of the things he was real happy about, was seeing how the team reacted to some adversity, because they really hadn't had a whole lot.
But the key to that game was Jackson turned the ball over 3 or 4 times. That was the key of the game. And if they don't turn it over, maybe they don't have, but you got to give the defense some credit for that too.
Well, the Ravens outplayed the Bills most of that game and fell apart at the end. That's 2 games that
they've blown. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the defense.
A lot of people are blaming it on Harbaugh's decision to. I think he went for it instead of taking a field goal or something, and people are complaining.
Yeah, it was an easy field goal, but a lot of people that tells you right there he don't trust his defense. To kick the field goal, he was wanting to get the touchdown.
He believes in his offense.
Get the touchdown and get up 7, and they're going to have to score a touchdown to tie you. But I think it was a mistake. That's just my opinion.
And it's easy for us all to sit here and say it's a mistake after we see what happened.
Yeah.
Because if he would have done that and they went down the field and they scored a touchdown, a lot of these people.
But you know me.
No, I agree with you.
Well, I'm
No,
not
I know
saying
what you're
that. You
saying.
just know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I always say put points on the board.
Yeah.
I don't care what team it
No.
is. That I've always felt
Yeah,
that.
no,
So,
what I'm saying is a lot of these people on TV that are all over him right now, they'd be talking about how great of a decision and how great of a coach he is if they would have went down and got that touchdown. You know what I mean? And made it a 7-point game.
I believe putting the points on the board.
Since it didn't
work,
but since it didn't work out, now they're going to bury him. But if it would have worked out, they'd been talking about how great he is.
Yeah,
that's what bothers me.
I know.
Be on the same side no matter what. If you think that was a good idea that he went for it, even though they didn't get it, stick with it.
Yeah.
But don't change it because you saw the outcome. That's my only thing, because half these people you see on TV would have been the other way.
I know.
You know what I mean? Talking about how great of a decision it was. But since it didn't work, like I said, it's easy to sit here and say, oh, yeah, that's a bad decision after you see it didn't work. Yeah. But
I agree. I know what you're saying.
I just stick with what you believe in. Is the only thing I want to see. And a lot of these guys on TV, you know it, on ESPN, even on Fox and on some of the other stations, they're going. It all depends on the outcome, and then they're going to give out what they think about it. No, what did you think before the outcome? In the moment, did you think he should have went for it or go for the field goal? And stick with it, no matter what the outcome is.
Yep.
And that's why I kind of liked John Harbaugh's explanation after the game. And he told why he done it.
And Harbaugh's consistent. He would 9 times out of 10 would make that decision all the time. He's done it, many times before. So it's not a surprising decision that he made.
I mean, I can understand going for the field goal, but I can understand Harbaugh's point is our defense has been struggling in the fourth quarter. Why not try to keep my offense on the field with my quarterback that's an MVP candidate that's been playing his ass off. He's our best weapon, and he rolled with his offense and his best player. It didn't work out this time, but like you just said, I guarantee the same situation can come up next week, and he's probably going to do the same thing
again. Yeah, that's his,
and that's what I like.
That's his coaching style.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if that's what
I don't agree.
If that's what you believe, yeah, I'm not saying I agree.
I believe putting points on the board, no matter who it is. That's just me. But I understand. That's his coaching style. That's what he coaches.
I'm not saying I'm agree with it, but at least I just like the fact that he's going to do what he thinks best. Not going to let the only reason media and the criticism affect him.
To me, it wasn't a chancy field. Well, any field goal didn't look to be chancy, but it wasn't a 51-yarder. It was like a 30-some yarder. It was a chip shot. You're probably going to get the lead, and I think if you get the lead, you're putting pressure on the other team. So that's why my opinion is. But I also understand his defense has played terrible this year.
Let me ask you this: why do you think the Colts have been getting off to such slow starts in the first half of games?
I have no idea.
The first half we got off to a slow start, and it seems like the second half we look like a totally different team. Man.
The only game we got off to a decent start was Kansas City.
Yeah.
And how do you look that good against Kansas City? You think Kansas City overlooked us?
I mean, they might have a little bit.
Don't get me wrong. I know the coach did. And I know the coach game plans and everything. I'm just talking about the team, the players in the back of their mind. Hey, look how they just got destroyed by the Jacksonville Jaguars. They tied the Texans. Man, I just wonder.
Well, they might have. I mean, they might have a little bit. But I think the Colts being a home opener came out fired up. Defense came out fired up from the beginning. Was able to get some early stops. Think they gained some confidence, and we was able to come back, stay in that game.
And I agree.
But this game is just like
you're playing one of the best teams in football. I understand that with Kansas City, and it's a must win because you don't want to lose. But same thing with Tennessee though, because it's a
division game.
Division game. Tennessee's probably the biggest rival in the division. What do you think?
Yeah. I think Jacksonville's on their way up to be a big rival.
But I think Tennessee's been the biggest rival of the last few years, and you can't get up for that game and get prepared like you did for Kansas City. Something's wrong.
And you were getting your best defensive player back, which I know he ended up getting hurt.
And Tennessee's not that good of a defense, or at least to that point hadn't been that good of a defense. Yeah. And they shut our running game down like to nothing.
Well, and even in the first half, we were able to move the ball passing some, but. Yeah, our offensive line has to get off the ball. We're calling running plays yesterday. Our offensive line wasn't getting off the ball at all.
He didn't have a chance.
Yeah, in the second half, he had a little bit better chance of running the ball, and he was able to get a few good runs. But in the first half, he couldn't get nothing. I don't understand it. I do. I think Frank Reich's in trouble. I think Ballard might get another year or two just because I think he's has put a good team together. Other than they haven't been able, everybody wants to say they haven't been able to find the quarterback. I don't think the quarterback's been the issue this year. I really didn't think the quarterback was that big of an issue last year.
Yeah, but Chris, but if he
but we're going to have to find us a young quarterback eventually. We can't keep going with these old guys.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I would say if we lose the next 3 or 4 games, I would say we're probably, if they have any belief at all in the guy that we got from Texas, Ellinger would be given a shot.
Well, if we lose the next 3 or 4 games and we're out of the playoffs, why not? Why not put him?
See what he can do.
Yeah, once you get, if you lose next 3 or 4 and you basically know you're not going to be a playoff team, why not put Ellinger in there and see what you have? Because you're going to have to make a decision because who knows if Ryan's coming back next year, and you're going to have to make a decision on whether you're going to try to use Ellinger as the next guy, or are you going to go try to get a guy? Are you going to try to move? If they move away from Ryan after this season, if he decides not to play, or if they decide that they want to move away from him, you're going to have to go with a young guy. So you're going to have to go with Ellinger, who you have, or you're going to have to try to move up in the draft.
And I'll be straight up honest. I agree with you. I don't think Ryan's the problem. Just like
I don't either.
Just like I didn't think Wentz was the major problem last year. So that's just my opinion.
And but what I'm saying, if you don't have Ryan, you're either going to have to use Ellinger next year, or you're going to have to move up in the draft and get your quarterback. Even if you have Ryan for next season, he decides to come back, you're going to have to get a young quarterback eventually. So there might be a situation where, and there's some pretty good prospects coming up next year. I mean, nobody's a sure thing, but I mean, with C.J. Stroud and some of the other guys coming out, it might be a situation where you might try to move up and get a quarterback.
But Ellinger's looked really good.
Even if you want to set him behind Ryan for a little bit.
Yeah, Ellinger's looked really good, and
I'd like to see him give Ellinger a chance. I'd like to see what he can do. I do. I think he has some talent. Is he going to be a franchise quarterback? We don't know.
Who knows?
But I wouldn't be mad if they gave him a chance. I mean, I would rather them give him a chance, and if they get rid of Ryan, I'd rather them give him a chance than go out and get another older guy.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we've tried to go out and get an older guy route. We went and got Rivers. It went pretty well. Honestly, I didn't think Rivers wasn't the reason we lost in the playoffs that year. Last year we had Wentz, was going pretty good. We had a collapse there at the end of the season, which of course quarterbacks get more blame than what they deserve. They get more credit than what they deserve. Yep. And they used Wentz kind of as a scapegoat last year, and I hated to see that because I thought he played pretty good for us last year. 27 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. Yeah, end of the season was terrible, but it wasn't all his fault. Nobody played well. Defense didn't play good. Offensive line wasn't playing. I mean, that was a total team collapse. And he ended up being the scapegoat of it. Then this year, Matt Ryan, I mean, if you look at his numbers, he ain't played terrible. Yeah, some turnovers have hurt us, but some of them turnovers have been like yesterday. That was just a great play by the one dude tipping it up.
Well,
some of them have been a couple fun. No, we shouldn't have kept Brissett. I like Brissett. I think Brissett's a great backup quarterback. Brissett's not a whole season starting quarterback in the NFL. Not a franchise quarterback anyway.
I don't think he's a franchise.
I don't think he's a franchise guy, and you need to find a franchise.
We'll see how he ends up at Cleveland. He's 2-2 right now. We'll see.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you also got to remember, look at the weapons they have in Cleveland. Look at the running backs he has in Cleveland.
Yes,
we don't have that in Indianapolis.
Not the receiver position.
Well, and we have one good running back, but look, they have two. Look at that two-headed monster they have over there with Chubb and Hunt.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And so you got those two weapons, plus they have some decent receivers. So he's in a better situation. He's in a good situation offensively where he can lean on his run game, and he don't. Which with the Colts you can lean on your run game, yes, but we had Brissett as a starter. And he looked good at the beginning of the season, but as the season went on,
well, he got hurt.
When he came back, but still, I mean, if you watch him, he still hesitates throwing the ball in the tight spots. And to be a franchise quarterback, and to me, to be a starting quarterback, again, are you not listening to what I'm saying, Damien? Yeah, he's leading the division, but look at the guys around him, and look what division he's in. I mean, that's not. He wouldn't be leading the division if the Ravens hadn't blown 2 games.
Yes.
The Steelers are trash. The Bengals have got off to a terrible start. Let's see where they end up. Let's see if they end up leading the division.
Yeah, Bengals are going to, that offensive line. If they don't get injured, the offensive line is going to get better as the season goes, and the Bengals are going to be right there.
Like I said, I like Brissett. I don't think Brissett's a bad player. I just don't think he's going to be that he's a guy that's going to be a year in, year out starter. When windows get tight, he hesitates about throwing the ball. That's the one thing. The one thing that I think is going to hold him back is he's too safe. Sometimes he wants to be, and I understand you don't want to make turnovers. He manages the game well, but sometimes you got to be able to throw them balls in tight windows.
The only thing now with Damien, I would say I agree. Brissett is not the answer. Ryan may not be the answer either.
Yeah, I'm not saying Ryan's the answer either.
So I agree that they need to go. Either need to go.
I think they need to go a different direction.
The only quarterback out there that's a starter anywhere right now that could possibly be available would be Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah,
that I would go after.
If the Ravens don't sign him,
you're talking about breaking the bank to do that. But because Rodgers and them guys, and Rodgers is older, they're not going to be available. I'm talking about somebody possibly, and I'm not saying he's going to be available. I'm just saying because with the contract issues and stuff, he could be available. Other than that, I'm going with a young quarterback.
No, I agree.
Because I don't want, even though I'm not saying I don't like the guy at San Francisco, Garoppolo. I like Garoppolo, but I don't think he would be the answer either. He's not talented, more talented necessarily than Ryan. Or
he's not consistent enough in the passing game. He's in a good system there with San Francisco. Yeah. It fits good with what he's good at. I don't think Matt Ryan's necessarily going to be our long-term answer. But do I think all of our problems this year is Matt Ryan? No.
Anybody thinks that he watched the games.
Big part of our problem has been our offensive line. I think coaching. I think coaching has been. I don't think Foles is better than Ryan. I think I don't think our quarterback's the problem right now, Damien. Or I understand what you're saying. Why not start Foles? But I don't think it's a situation where the quarterback is playing bad, and if you take him out, that it's going to improve.
If they lose the next 3 or 4 games and get out of the playoffs,
I'd rather see him put Ellinger than.
Yeah, you could put Foles in, but I'd rather give Ellinger the opportunity.
Yeah, see what you got in the young guy, whether you think he's it or not.
Yeah, if you get to the point where you're out of the playoffs, I say you put Ellinger in there and see what you got.
But yeah, I don't think it's Ryan's the reason we're losing right now. The reason we're losing right now, offensive line,
turnovers,
and I think some of the coaching has been bad. There's some of his play calling has been bad, but then what he did yesterday, dude. If I was the owner team out, if Jonathan Taylor's not on the field, when you have a chance to win the game,
I want somebody to justify that.
I'd fire him. I'd have fired. I'd have probably done what Arizona State done to Herman Edwards. Fired him right there on the damn field. Yeah. Like, hey, dude, go pack your shit up and get out of here.
Do that, but I was very mad.
I mean,
it doesn't happen.
There's no excuse for that. He's your best player on your offense. Best offensive weapon you have. And the most important drive of the game. You're only down 7. Yeah, it was a fumble. He got stripped. But guess what? Defense held him. You still have a chance to win the game. If you want to punish him for fumbling the ball, do it after the damn game.
That type of fumble you punish him.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he didn't cough the people that usually get punished, somebody just coughs the ball up. He didn't cough the ball up.
But I'm telling you, if Derrick Henry would have fumbled at the end of that game. You're telling me that Mike Vrabel wouldn't have had Derrick Henry on the field next time they had the offensive possession?
I guarantee you.
You're telling me the Browns, if Chubb fumbled the ball, they ain't gonna have Chubb back out there in the next possession, especially if the game's fourth quarter and you're only down 7.
I know what you're saying.
It makes no sense not to have your best offensive weapon on the field. And not only that, he's your best pass protector out of your running backs.
Yes, that's the biggest thing. He's a lot bigger than Hines.
I know he wasn't having a great game running the ball yesterday, but just him being on the field, for one, they got to respect that you might run the ball. And for 2, he's a better pass protector than Hines is.
Yeah, they ain't even close.
So it didn't make no sense at all. I'd have fired him right after the game on the field. I fired him on the field. Go pack your shit up, get out of my building. And I think, man, if he loses, I think if he loses the two, even if they beat Denver and they lose them 2 division games, I could see maybe him being gone. But if they lose their next 3 games, I definitely think Frank Reich's going to be gone. And then I think after that, Ballard better be watching his back some because, I mean, receivers have played better, so I can't say the last couple games or like yesterday's loss was on our receivers. We had some receivers step up, so it wasn't on our receiving core that game. Now, early in the season, first couple games, our receiving core didn't look good at all. First game we had some drops. Second game, nobody looked good. Hell, we got dominated by Jacksonville. We just got our ass kicked. Against the Chiefs, all the receivers had a better game. You had some
offense was still in a great game, but it was enough. The defense carried us. Offense did enough.
And like I said, it wasn't like the problem yesterday was turnovers. That was our big issue, turnovers and the offensive line. That was the 2 big problems yesterday. I mean, we didn't give up no points in the second half, was right in that game, had plenty of chances to put up points in the second half. But turnovers or a big penalty at the wrong time, it seemed like it would stall a drive.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you look offensively, we outplayed Tennessee. If you look by the numbers, but we had those turnovers that killed us.
I tell you right now, I don't think in the NFL there's a dominant team. I mean, I know some people are going to say Philadelphia. I'm still not. I mean, I'm sold on Philadelphia. I think they're a playoff team and they're looking really good. I'm not sold on them being the dominant team, Super Bowl favorite, or anything like that. But, there's still 10, 12, 14 teams, I think, that can win a Super Bowl.
And you've had some of the teams that looked like they might be dominant. Injuries kind of like the Bills looked like they could be, and then a lot of injuries there. A lot of injuries to their defense.
Honestly, if Baltimore's defense was playing better and didn't collapse twice, they would be the best team in football. Whether offense has played as good if not better than anybody.
Then you have a team like the Chargers that everybody had a high expectation for. The injuries has kind of wiped out.
But they still won some games. Yeah. So I mean, you can overcome those injuries if you're not getting a bunch of losses.
Yeah, well, a couple of the guys are out for the season, but
that's true.
But some of the well, kind of like what the Cowboys are doing. You got to try to manage so you get your guy back, which maybe
he may not come back.
Maybe Prescott isn't the guy, but we'll find.
Well, we know who the owner is there. He don't give a crap.
And if they now they're talking. I keep hearing that Prescott might play next week now, so we'll see. Prescott's gonna get back on the field as quick as he can.
Oh yeah, he is.
As quick as he can because he knows how this business works. How did he get his starting job?
The only difference is that Tony Romo was more closer to the end of his career than what Prescott is. That's the only difference. But you got a crazy owner, and if another 2 or 3, if he's out for another 2 or 3 weeks, and Cooper Rush and they win them games and they play decent, Cooper Rush ain't gonna come off that field.
And you already got a fan base that's already starting to say let's get.
Or if he does come off that field, there's gonna be such a tight leash on Prescott. Yeah. If he plays a bad half, you may see a change. And that would suck to be on a leash like that.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me, dude.
Hey, if Dallas with their defense, if they can put up 20 points a game, they're a dangerous team.
And with that Dallas fan base, half the fan base is already calling for Dallas to get rid of Dak and keep Rush. I think. Excuse me. I think that's a little premature.
If Dallas can run the football successfully, if they can become a 2-headed monster with the 2 guys that they got there, and they could, and put up 24 points a game, they'd be a tough team with that defense. And if they don't get injuries, that defense is playing well.
Oh no, good
as anybody in the league.
What do you think about this Thursday night game? We got the Broncos coming in. Broncos haven't looked great on the offensive side of the ball. They lost the game.
Broncos defense scares me.
They lost the game yesterday against the Raiders. Raiders pick up their first win. Russell Wilson is battling a shoulder injury from yesterday. From what I read, they're expecting him to play. The Colts aren't going to have Leonard or Tyquan Lewis on Thursday.
Sure.
Leonard is in concussion protocol.
Yeah, they've already ruled him out. So.
Well, yeah. Well, most time you're in concussion protocol, you ain't gonna be ready to play on Thursday.
Well,
unless you're Tua with the Dolphins.
Yeah, if you're Tua, then they won't even put you in protocol.
No, I agree, Dave. I didn't think they should have paid Dak all that money. I was one of the guys that was on that was against paying Dak all that money. I think they overpaid Dak. Not saying Dak's a terrible, but I didn't think he's that franchise guy that you pay no $40 million a year to. I think eventually they're going to go back to Dak, but I agree with you. I can see him being on a short leash, and just that, and sometimes that pressure of being on that short leash like that can really can affect the way a guy plays.
It could affect him the other way. I mean, he could come out and play really good, so who knows?
The Colts, Broncos. That's going to be a tough game. I think Colts are capable of beating the Broncos. I really do. But our offensive line's going to have to show up and play. If our offensive line don't show up and play, it's going to be a long night for the Colts offensively, because Broncos defense is, to me, right up there is one of the best in the league.
Top 5 for sure.
And they have a tough defense, and if you let that pass rush get going, you can be in trouble. We need to be able to. We got to get back. We got to get Jonathan Taylor going. We got to figure out a way to be able to run the ball. I think that would really help us. Turnovers. If we don't turn the ball over, and our offensive line can block some, I think we'll have a chance.
Well, against Kansas City, we didn't run the football really well, but we made up for it with about 7 or 8 catches out of our backfield.
We had 2 catches out of the backfield yesterday.
Yes, and so we that didn't happen this game. So
they were both, instead of being almost like coming out of the backfield, they were both basically almost straight back.
Yeah,
which didn't get nothing out of them. I don't understand that. Especially with Taylor, throw him a halfback swing where he's already going toward the line of scrimmage, and has a head of steam going. Yeah. Dude, he's tough to stop.
Yep. I agree.
And he can catch the ball. Yeah, the Colts. I think Colts offensive line is going to be a big key. Turnovers is going to be the other big key. It's going to be interesting Thursday night. Game starts at 8:15 Eastern time. It is in Denver, so that's going to be. We'll see if the thin air there in Denver bothers the Colts on a short week.
Yeah.
But the Colts. Colts have a lot they need to work on, and this right here is a game that you're getting to the point where it's almost a must-win game.
Yeah.
I
would assume Denver.
I know it's early in the season, but
I'm going to assume Denver's a slight favorite.
I'm sure they are. I haven't even looked. Be honest with you, I haven't even looked at the odds. But being at home, here, I'll look real quick. But being at home, I would say they're going to be a slight favorite. I'll look that up real quick. But I think offensive line and turnovers is going to be the two keys for the Colts to win this game. Offensive line might give Matt Ryan some time to get the ball out, and then we can't have turnovers. We don't have that explosive offense where we can overcome multiple turnovers in the game, and that's basically what beat us yesterday was turnovers. We turned the ball over 3 times, or we'd have won that game. We'd outscored them. Our offense looked better than their offense. Turnovers killed us. But like I said, there ain't a whole lot of teams that can win a game if you turn the ball three times. But yeah, with our offense, let's see. NFL Broncos are 3.5-point favorites at home.
3.5.
Yeah. You know who I'm taking. I'd take Colts.
I think the Colts in the 3.5 right now.
Especially getting that hook. Got big. Before we get out of here, got a big Monday night game tonight.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a good game. Rams and the 49ers. I'm going to favor the Rams, and the only reason I'm favoring the Rams is because Trent Williams isn't playing for the 49ers.
Where's the game at?
It's in San Francisco.
Okay.
Game is in San Francisco. It's just how bad the 49ers offensive line looked after Williams went off the field.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to back the 49ers offensive line. against Rams, who have a pretty good defense. I think it'll be a good game. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I really do, because both the 49ers have a good defense.
Yeah.
I think their defense can help keep them in the game. But with them missing their offensive lineman in Williams, they're missing him for like next 5-6 weeks. Missing him, it scares me, just because the way I saw that game turn when he went out again a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or actually last week, wasn't it? Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah.
So 49ers are 1.5 point favorites at home. They're minus 122 on the money line. Over under is at 41.5. Rams are plus 104, so they're Rams are slight underdogs. But hey, Stafford hasn't played like Stafford has got off to a great start this year either. Rams offense is going to have to play better. Like I said, 49ers, I think it's going to be a tough game. I expect it to be a low-scoring game. It is not the much, as Damon said, he don't trust Jimmy G at all. I understand what you're saying, Damon, because I know you don't like Jimmy G, and I understand that point. But in that system, it's hard to argue when he's took the team to Super Bowl and had them almost to the Super Bowl last year. He plays well in that system. And look at the 49ers record when Jimmy G plays. Look at Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan's record with the 49ers when he has Jimmy G as a quarterback and he has anybody else as a quarterback.
I agree with you, because I feel the same way, except I am worried about the offensive lineman being out.
Yeah, no, that worries me. That's why I'm leaning. Why I'm leaning toward the Rams, because of the offensive lineman being out.
Because Jimmy G couldn't do anything last week once he went out of the game.
No, once he went out of the game,
he didn't have a chance. So that worries me.
And I think you'll see Jimmy G play better, start playing a little bit better as well, because people forget it wasn't like he wasn't practicing with the team when they made Trey Lance the starter. Jimmy G was not practicing with the team. He was on a separate field by himself throwing balls. He wasn't getting any of the second team snaps. He wasn't getting any kind of snaps with any. So it was going to take him a little bit to get back from in timing with his receivers.
Yeah.
So, but the big thing is Trent Williams not being there. Trent Williams not being there, man, because like you said, that last game, once Trent Williams was out, they couldn't do nothing on offense.
That's true.
Nothing at all. It didn't look good. For the Indianapolis Colts, our offensive line has to get better, and we have to stop the turnovers. I think if we do that, we could get back. We could win some games and get back into the season. But man, we got a tough stretch of schedule coming up, and we definitely can't afford.
It's a long season
to keep losing.
It's a long season. I think 10, 11 wins can win the division. So hey, we just we got to it's a long season. We got to get on a roll, win 3 or 4 in a row. So we'll see.
I just don't know if we can get to 10 or 11 wins at this point, especially if we keep losing our division games. That's what.
Well, that's
because to me, winning your division is your sure thing, getting the playoffs. I think that's our best chance.
Well, I know what you're saying, but if we say, for example, let's say we win the next 3 games, that changes your outlook of your season completely. Yeah. So we'll see.
No, I'm not saying I'm not giving up yet because it's too early. But I'm saying you lose these next 3 games, you're in big trouble. I think we're in big trouble.
Well, if you lose,
because 2 of the games are to division, and that means you've lost 3 games in your division and tied 1. Yep. And so your chances of winning the division then are pretty much out the window.
The wild card ain't looking real good either. Even though a lot of people thought that the division with San Diego them was going to be a lot stronger early on, right now it's not looked as quite as strong as people thought. But that could change real quick too. I mean, right now, like I said earlier, Dallas' division is the strongest division. Do you think it's going to end up being the strongest division by the end of the season? Probably not.
Matt Ryan fried like a bologna sandwich. I'm a Matt Ryan fan too. Drunk, but to me, it hasn't been it ain't been Matt Ryan. The offensive line and turnovers have quite killed us yesterday. I mean, Matt Ryan, he had that 1 interception. That was a good play by the lineman. But man, I think it's more of our offensive line and getting off to slow starts in games. Yeah. You can't dig yourself a hole and expect to be able to come back all the time. I mean, they got right back in that game, and they outplayed Tennessee in the second half. They did, but you get down, and then you just have every time you have the ball in Tennessee territory 3 times in the second half, and didn't get no points.
Yeah.
I think you had in there like 5 times, but 3 of the times you didn't get no points.
Yeah, it's true.
So I mean, you don't get no. You keep going down there. Yeah, that strip sack really killed us there. And Ryan didn't have a chance, man. I mean, he got the snap, looked downfield. Next thing you know, he was trying to throw. He went to throw the ball and he got hit as he was trying to throw the ball. So I mean, but yeah, our offensive line, and a lot of people just want to blame it on like Pinter and and Pryor, our new left tackle, but our whole offensive line hasn't played great. It hasn't. I don't think you can just put it on one guy.
Nope.
Because like he said, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Q that gave up that sack, and that usually don't happen with Nelson very often. You're right, Drunk. You never know what to expect out of the Titans. I had the Colts winning the game, and like I said, Titans didn't score no points in the second half, and we gave them 14 points in the first half off turnovers. So I mean, the Colts had plenty of chances to win this game, and in the second half, we were in Titans territory 3 times that we didn't get no points.
Yep.
One of them we had the fumble by Taylor, which he got stripped. He's battling for yards. They kept him up on his feet. 3 or 4 guys was pulling out the ball and they got it. But I still say,
yeah,
Frank Reich not having Jonathan Taylor on the field your last drive of the game because he had fumbled the drive before is to me is fireable. I'd fire him over it. To me, that shows it. What the hell are you thinking, dude? He's your best player, best offensive player you have, and not only that, he's your best pass protection running back on your roster as well. And like I said, nothing against Nyheim Hines. I like Nyheim Hines. I don't think we use Nyheim Hines right. I think we should be throwing the ball to him out of the backfield some more. I don't think we use him right. But when the game's on the line, Jonathan Taylor should be on the field for 2 reasons. He's your best player, and he's your best player, and he's your best pass protector. Drunk, he got off to a real good start. Had a real good first game. Since then they've had trouble getting them going. Asked about how Taylor was looking.
He had a great first game.
Yeah, had a great first game. Like 150, 160 total yards.
Yep.
But since then, he just ain't. The Colts offensive line has not gave him a whole lot of room. Like yesterday, he had like 20 something carries for like 40 yards. He was averaging 2 yards a carry, and I've never seen Jonathan Taylor only average 2 yards a carry.
Yeah.
But our offensive line wouldn't get no push off the ball at all. Yeah, he didn't have a big game against the Chiefs either. No. Like I said, he's been pretty quiet since that first game. But with that being said, though, he's your best offensive weapon, and he's your best pass protector. We're trying to throw the ball. We're trying to throw the ball in that last drive, and Matt Ryan's getting killed. And I know at least on 2 of the plays, Nyheim Hines basically just got blown up. Yeah. And I mean, and he's not on the field because of a fumble earlier on. Okay, yeah, there was a fumble. Your defense made a stop. You still have a chance to win the game. You're only down, or at least tie the game. You're only down by 7, and you don't put them out there. And it just don't make no. It
wasn't that type of fumble. It wasn't we coughed the ball up. It was a great defensive play with 3 or 4 guys.
Holding them up and stripping the ball
and moving his body backwards and stripping the ball. It was a very tough play and a great defensive play. It wasn't a cough up like you see sometimes from running backs. It was ridiculous that the coach took him out of the game.
And no, you're right, Dirk. That was what was our strong point, was our offensive line. And we put a lot of money in that offensive line. And we lost Costanzo, which he retired. Yep. I'm not saying Costanzo was the greatest, but he was solid over there at left tackle. Yep. That's hurt us. But we just haven't – the offensive line hasn't gelled at all this year.
Offensive line since the last 2 games last year and so far this season has not been very good.
No. And that's the problem, Drunk, is that we have so much money tied up in that offensive line. That's where we've spent most of our money is on that offensive line.
Yep.
And it's not a good look. Because like hell, because for years we didn't have an offensive line. That's why Andrew Luck got killed and retired. And then now you have and then for like 3-4 years we had probably the best offensive line and one of the best offensive line in the league. And then this year we look back to where we can't protect nobody. Yeah, it was Anthony. It was Anthony Costanzo. That's what I said. He retired after last season. We're missing him at left tackle. Pryor's filled in there. Pryor hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't been near as solid. We have another young guy over at right tackle in Pinter. He struggled some. A lot of people want to put it all on him, but it's not all on him. I mean, like you said, Nelson Nelson's not blowing people off the ball like he usually does. We're not getting no push at all on the offensive side of the ball right now. Pass protection was a little bit better yesterday. They gave Ryan was able to throw for 300 something yards. They gave Ryan some time, but they just like I said, couldn't run the ball at all. So we were pretty much one dimensional most of the game yesterday. Oh yeah, I agree. Quentin Nelson's to me is the best offensive line in the league as well, but he hasn't been taking over games this year like he usually does.
He hasn't been this year,
especially considering his age. That's the other good thing about him. He's not real old, but and he's even admitted that hey, we got to play better as an offensive line total. And then Naeem Hines, I hadn't seen the interview, but you said he came out and said the offense has been the problem.
Yep. It's not the defense. It's offense. The defense has played well enough. The offense is not.
Defense played a great second half yesterday.
What they did against Kansas City.
And honestly, they didn't play bad in the first half if you consider the turnovers and the field position.
They didn't play terrible against the Texans, maybe one bad quarter, but we had a bunch of turnovers against the Texans too.
No, we looked terrible. They looked terrible against Jacksonville. The whole team looked terrible.
Yes.
We got dominated on
both sides of the ball. We got knocked off the ball.
In all facets of the game, we got our asses kicked that game.
Coach, everybody.
I mean, special teams, we didn't look good at all that game. And that honestly, that's the only game that we really haven't been in that we couldn't have won. I mean, we could have beat the Texans, could have beat the Titans. I'm not going to say we could have beat Jacksonville because they kicked our ass, and of course we beat the Chiefs. Yep. So I mean, the Colts. I sit here and I'm frustrated, but the Colts could very easily could be 3-1.
We got to change it. We got to change
but
it. One game at a time. Now.
I say that, but you can also. I put a lot in the coaching. Believe me, you might not be. I don't know if you heard my rant earlier, but Frank Reich has not been good this year.
He wants Frank Reich fired now. He wanted him fired on the field.
Yeah, yesterday, not for not having Jonathan Taylor on the field, but no, he hasn't. His play calling to me hasn't been great this year, and then a lot of times I think Frank Reich operates as an offensive coordinator over there and not a head coach when it comes to game strategy and some of the stuff, but. And I was a big Frank Reich fan when they first got him. I was glad that McDaniels turned down the job and we ended up with Frank Reich. I thought Reich was the better coach out of the two, especially as a head coach. But his play calling this year and some of the decisions they've made have just not made a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Well, that's what I'm saying. We got to turn up quick because of Jacksonville. Plus. We play Denver on Thursday night, then we have Jacksonville and Tennessee. So we have two more division games, and we're already 0-2-1 in our division. So we only have 3 division games left. If you lose to Jacksonville and Tennessee again,
that's twice to Jacksonville, twice to Tennessee.
Yeah,
you're about done.
You're in trouble in your division
unless things just really go crazy.
And honestly, Drunk, I think if the Colts, especially if they lose their next 3 games, they lose Thursday night to Denver and then lose those 2 division games, I don't think Reich makes it. I think Reich will be gone then. I don't think he makes it through the season.
I agree.
If they get off to that kind of start and win 1 game out of their first 7 games, I think Irsay will make a change.
I think Reich's gone, and I'm not so sure about the general manager. I'm really not.
Well, if you look at Irsay's past, most of the time, if he likes bringing in the new coach with a new general manager in together. He didn't with Grigson, and look how that turned out. So, look what he did. He brought Poley, and then with Peyton and Dungy, and we got to figure out something, and we got to figure it out quick because it's a big game Thursday night. We will be live Thursday night for the Colts game as usual. Game starts, I think, at 8:15, so we'll be live probably around 8, somewhere around there. Oh, yeah. No, I 100% agree on that. If we end up with a top 10 pick, there's no way we enter the season with Reich. No, I agree that. I agree that because that means we've had another bad season. But we will be live Thursday for the Colts game. Don't forget tonight, Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk, 11 p.m. Eastern. Come join us. We'll recap the weekend in the NFL and talk tonight's Monday Night Football game. Oh, come on, Jason. Man,
Go Patriots!
Come on, Jason. I was liking you, man. Now you're making it a little rougher on me.
Patriot fan, jeez. Oh, right now the Patriots are about as good as the Colts. So
hey, thanks, Drunk. We appreciate that.
Yeah, right now the Patriots are about as good as the Colts. So
Jason McGraw laughing.
We're about in the same boat. So,
but join us tonight, Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk, 11 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, we'll recap the whole weekend of NFL, talk tonight's NFL Monday Night Football game. Tomorrow we'll be back. He said true. Tomorrow we'll be back with on our full schedule. We'll have Around the Bases. Well, probably we'll have Around the Bases tomorrow. Might not have it because I have something I'll do in the morning. But we will have ASAP Afternoon Blitz at 1 p.m. Eastern, have the Easy Money and Sports Betting Show at 3. Tomorrow's what, Tuesday?
DCCW.
Why was I thinking it was something? Maybe I got to see what time I'm doing that with Brandon.
Okay,
so we might have. Let me see what time that is. So that then we'll now probably going to do some kind of a recap show
sometime this week.
Now we're going to do it sometime this week. It'll either be Tuesday or Wednesday. I got to check on a schedule. We're going to recap show of DCCW Cornfield Carnage, which. Jason McGraw was part of putting that on with the Jay County Fair Board.
Great job.
Show was awesome over the weekend. If you haven't checked it out, you can find it on our YouTube and Facebook page at GonzoSportsRoom. Go check it out. You won't be disappointed. You can also find it on the All Sports All Plays Network as well.
Are we doing Marcus Fine?
Yes. Yep. We will have a big interview with the pro wrestling superfan Marcus Fine. It's going to be on Thursday. We'll get graphics out about all that. Got a couple big interviews coming up. Got a big interview coming up next week with J.H. Hogg. Then a week after that, we're going to have Dalton Love. Yep. So we got some stuff coming up.
Got a bunch of wrestling shows coming up this month. Also, stay tuned. Maybe you're going to have some exciting news. Maybe we're going to be heading out of state to possibly do some wrestling shows. So we're pretty excited about that.
This Saturday or this Sunday, we have Summit Pro Wrestling. Greenfield, Indiana. They always put on a great show. Go check them out.
Yeah.
The next Saturday, the 15th, we have AACW in Kokomo. They put on a great show and have a great crowd.
This Saturday, we're going to do a watch along with the WWE Extreme Rules, which I'm really excited for. I think it's going to be an awesome show. We'll do a live watch along with that. I think it's probably 8 o'clock. I think Saturday night. So you guys get on WWE Network, Peacock, I guess, and watch that and comment with us and have a good time.
Yeah, so I said we got a lot of stuff, but tomorrow we got Easy Money at 3, ASAP Afternoon Blitz at 1. Oh, Unscripted at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I'm usually on Unscripted Tuesdays and Thursdays. Go check them out. Unscripted on Facebook or on the All Sports All Plays Network. I think that's all for tomorrow. Maybe be doing that recap show tomorrow. I'll put out a graphic about it. I gotta check and see what time I got a couple things I gotta get done tomorrow, so I gotta see what time the guy that's helping me can be available. And then Wednesday the rest of the week should be full schedule like normal. But I want to thank everybody for watching today, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Well, see you tonight. Tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern with Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk. Hope everybody has a great evening. Thanks for watching.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.